But the news today really has just been astonishing. After yesterday's massive trillion-dollar dive in U.S. stock markets because of Trump's tariff chaos, today he was not at all chastised by yesterday's market reaction. His pronouncements and mumblings on tariffs got even more chaotic and incoherent, and the Dow dropped yet another 500 points today. And then at the end of the day today, after 2 days of that, Republicans in Congress did something truly amazing. Republicans are facing this political situation now, right, where the markets are tanking. Economists are forecasting a Trump recession. Literally, he inherited an economy that was the envy of the world. And in less than 2 months, Wall Street's in a tailspin, and economists are upping their predictions of a U.S. recession by double digits per day. So Republicans are facing a political situation in which their party appears to be doing this, right? The U.S. economy looks like it's being destroyed for fun by Donald Trump because someone once told this guy a thing he didn't understand about tariffs. And so now he's doing this, and real people are feeling the pain. But here's the thing. The way Trump is able to put these tariffs on, off, up, down, postponed, exceptions, no exceptions, on, off, the reason he's able to change these ruinous policies as quickly as he can pronounce them is because he declared an economic emergency that gives him the power to unilaterally declare these tariffs. That kind of emergency, though, it also has kind of an eject button. When you declare that kind of emergency, Congress also gets the power to call the emergency off, to stop the president from doing this. So Congress could just vote and declare this so-called emergency to be over, and then Trump would no longer have the power to single-handedly destroy the U.S. economy in the way that he has been. So because of that, because Congress has the power to call off the emergency, taking away Trump's tariff power, Democrats in Congress planned to make Congress vote on that exact thing. They planned to force a vote. So Republicans, who mostly say they don't like tariffs, Republicans would be forced to either go along with the tariffs anyway, because Trump is doing them, or they'd cast their vote to stop Trump from doing these tariffs. Right, what would Republicans do confronted with the need to make up their mind on a vote like that, right? How would they deal with not just the prospect of opposing Trump, which inherently makes them cry and hide immediately, but then on the other side of it, the other side of that vote is this very real pain and loss of money, and, you know, they and their constituents and the businesses in their district are all feeling and facing. It's real. So Republicans in Congress have the power to stop Trump from doing what he's doing on tariffs. What will they do with that power? The Democrats are going to force them to take a vote on this. What are they going to do with that power? Headline: Republicans quietly cede power to cancel Trump's tariffs, avoiding a tough vote. Cede power. They literally had the power to stop Trump from doing something that is hurting the country materially every single day. They have the power to stop him from what he's doing. And so what did they decide to do with that power? They decided to give that power away so they no longer have that power, so they don't have to decide what to do with it. Quote, House Democrats had planned to force a vote on resolutions to end the tariffs on Mexico and Canada, a move allowed under the National Emergencies Act, which provides a mechanism for Congress to terminate an emergency like the one Trump declared when he imposed the tariffs on February 1st. That would have forced Republicans, many of whom are opposed to tariffs as a matter of principle, to go on the record on the issue at the time when Trump's commitment to tariffs has spooked the financial markets and spiked concerns of reigniting inflation. But Republican leaders today, on Tuesday, slipped language into a procedural measure that would prevent any such resolution to end the tariffs from receiving any vote this year. They're literally ceding their power, giving it up. We don't want that power. And it gets better. In order to give up their power, in order to save themselves from the terrible dilemma of whether or not to cast a recorded vote on whether or not Trump should be allowed to keep hurting the country on purpose, in order to avoid having to cast a vote on that, Republicans had to figure out some way out of this trap. They had to come up with some way out of the provisions of this national emergency law. I mean, the national emergency law says Congress can end the emergency. He declared a national emergency in order to give himself the ability to proclaim these tariffs. The national emergency law says if a resolution to end the emergency is introduced in Congress, Congress must consider that. They have to start the process of voting on it within 15 days. So now we know Democrats are introducing that resolution. That starts the clock ticking. That means Congress is going to have to vote on this 15 days, tick-tock. In order to get around that binding requirement in the law, what did Republicans do? They proclaimed that between now and the end of this Congress, that is just one long day. That's just one day. The whole rest of the Congress. I am not kidding. Quote, each day for the remainder of the 119th Congress shall not constitute a calendar day for the purposes of this emergency declaration. The New York Times tonight called it a, quote, particularly unusual contortion. Republicans in Congress, quote, essentially declared the rest of the year one long day, so that 15 days will never elapse and they will never have to vote. And that is how the Republican-led Congress voted to give away its own power to Donald Trump. So hopefully no one would know that they were actually responsible for not stopping him when they could have. Think it's going to work? Think nobody's going to notice what they did? I mean, with what Trump is doing right now, whatever happens to the markets and to your retirement account and to prices in the stores and the weakening of the dollar and failing small businesses where you live and failing large businesses the longer this goes on, I mean, just remember, Republican members of Congress had the power, very simply, to stop him from doing this. And they explicitly gave that power away so they wouldn't have to do it.
The market meltdown we're witnessing isn't some random economic hiccup. It's Trump's economic vandalism in real time. Just 2 days of his tariff nonsense wiped out trillions in market value. Think about that. Your retirement accounts, your investments, your financial security, all being sacrificed on the altar of Trump's economic illiteracy. He inherited a thriving economy, and in less than 2 months, Wall Street's in free fall, and economists are raising recession forecasts daily. This isn't leadership, it's economic arson. He's literally setting fire to our economy because someone once explained tariffs to him and he half listened. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more American truth. What's truly infuriating is watching Republican lawmakers cower in the face of this disaster. They actually had the power to stop this madness. The law gives Congress the ability to end Trump's so-called emergency and strip away his tariff powers. But instead of standing up for you, your wallet, and American businesses, they pulled a cowardly procedural stunt to avoid even taking a vote on it. They literally declared the rest of the congressional year one long day to circumvent the law, requiring them to act within 15 days. It's political malpractice of the highest order. They're not just enabling Trump. They're actively helping him hurt you. Remember this moment when prices keep rising, when businesses in your community start cutting jobs, when your 401k keeps shrinking. Republicans in Congress could have stepped in. They could have said, enough, and ended this economic self-sabotage with a simple vote. Instead, they deliberately gave away their power to protect you from Trump's recklessness. They chose party over country, Trump over your financial well-being. This isn't just weak. It's complicity in economic harm. Next time a Republican lawmaker claims to care about fiscal responsibility or the free market, just point to this moment when they surrendered their constitutional duty and let Trump continue his economic wrecking ball routine. Let us know what you think in the comments and don't forget to subscribe.